Hey guys, welcome to my first review. This is Figure Frames, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mafex 150 Superman Return of Superman. So just to jump into it, let's take a look right at the box. Beautiful packaging from Mafex, usually what they always do. Superman logo over here with DC emblem, Mafex branding, Metacom toys. Look at the bottom, all your legalese. You do have that verification stamp right there, made in China. Take a look at the side of the box right here. Nice photo for that. Superman emblem in the back. More nice shots of the figure in the back and shows you what accessories you get. Nice still shot. And legalese again. All right, so here we have the figure out of box in all his glory, and I'll tell you what, guys, very beautiful figure, very beautiful figure. So let's take a closer look, and I'm just gonna let you guys know off the rip, if you notice any gloss on this neck area, his face is a little glossy too, but I think that's just really how they painted him. But this, it didn't come like this, unfortunately. My neck, when it came in, it was too loose, so I had to put a little bit of shock oil to tighten it up, just because I don't want a floppy neck pause. But yeah, but all good. But yeah, just to start off, his aesthetic, very sleek, very nice. I mean, it's just a black body mold with just a couple pieces of paint on it, so really hard to mess up in that aspect. Let's take a closer look. So silver all around for the details. He has over here his gauntlets. Very nice emblem. Glad this guy doesn't have too many paint defects, knowing with Mafex. Great company, but when they have issues, as you know, if you ever have a Mafex or get a Mafex, as a warning. But yeah, very shiny, very nice looking, pretty clean on the lines all the way over there. Clean with the gauntlets as well. And then he has a little bit of toe paint as well. But overall, it's really just a black body with a little bit of silver paint. Then we get a little bit more up to his neck area, starts showing a little bit more skin. My guy got to show off that he's been working on the traps. But this Superman is pretty cool because we got that mullet going on. And yeah, nice face printing, or paintwork, I should say, on the face. Could take a nice look at that. Yeah, pretty detailed. I know people sometimes complain about Mafex having, soft paint, soft paints for the faces. But, oops, sorry about that. Let me get this back in focus. There we go. But, so to go over his articulation now, this guy's pretty much a standard Mafex. Again, if you had one, you should know these guys, most of the time, or 9 out of 10 of the time, come with amazing articulation. And this Superman is no different at all. So to start off, we got 2 joints in the neck, ball peg in the bottom, ball peg in the top, and this gives optimal neck range right there. And then you do have good side to side. He looks down pretty good. The only thing is he is restricted from looking up, unfortunately, because of the mullet. I wish they use the softer plastic, or maybe just sculpt it a little bit more up where it's not restricting that head movement. See, because if you, everything's going all over the place. But yeah, so it's not really restricting the articulation there. And just so you can see, has a little curved peg right there, just so you can get the neck range in. All right, we got that stuck nice on there. Go to the shoulder joints. You do have nice butterfly joints, so you could get this a little creaking, but no problem. So good butterfly joints goes all the way front like this. And then you could also have it all the way back like that. So pretty good. Double jointed elbow. Nice wrist pegs from Mafex. Only thing is these guys, you know, I've seen it happen to one too many people. These things do get sensitive. So I do recommend when you are swapping parts or just handling the hands in general, just be a little gentle, you know, because it's like a twig right there. So you don't really want to put too much friction or force on these pegs. But yeah, overall good optimal movement for the hands, standard stuff. So you do get 2 cuts in the torso area, so you get nice all around movement in the top, nice side to side. Goes back a good amount, but you do get some gappage when it comes to the front. It crunches that much from the top, but in the bottom of the waist, you do get some nice rotation again. Good down, good forward movement, I should say, and good back movement. And then when everything combined, you could go all the way back like that, do the limbo, or he could crunch really well. So the Mafex does benefit from having those 2 points there, because if not, this would just be terrible like a Marvel Legends. No hate on that, because I have a couple myself. With this figure, I don't know if I don't believe they really reissued this figure, not yet to my knowledge, but kind of does feel like he has the softer diaper piece on him. You see that? You get some squish there. So you do have drop down hinges and the hidden swivel right there in the middle right there, if you can see. But it doesn't really help with the, you know, with doing the splits, because the figure only goes about this far. Same over there. And let's put the drop downs to the test. Yeah, not really gonna do anything. It's really limited from the back because of his ass, but hey, why not? And then when it comes to going up, yep, since it's the newer, softer plastic for the diaper piece, basically you could go all the way up with these nice kicks. I don't think Superman really needs to kick that high, but hey, I'm not complaining. Go down, double jointed knee, looks pretty good. And then you do have a toe hinge. Nice ankle swivel. And then more movement side to side. It's really not going to go more to the side than the outside because how Mafex sculpts their figures. But honestly, don't mind, because more than most of the time, you're not going to have your figure break their ankles. They're really just going to do this to get into more dynamic poses. But yeah, so articulation-wise, this guy's pretty good. I mean, it's just a blank body. The only thing I would say is if they could have gave it a little bit better crunch here, but I get it. They're going to compromise the mold, but, you know, I've seen some customizers do some crazy things. And, you know, the neck movement, maybe try to find a way to make it go more up. But this guy's pretty sick. And I also forgot to mention when I was going over the details, if you actually take a look at his hair, I hope the camera's picking that up. Just like his eyebrow, or like in the comics, you have that nice blue shading in there. And trust me, it does give the figure a lot of contrast and a lot of life on the shelf. But that doesn't just end there with the figure. This figure does come with a decent amount of accessories, so let's go over that real quick. All right, guys, so now to go over the accessories, let's just start off. He does come with the 2 closed-fisted hands. He does come inside with the box. He does come with a pair of open-fisted hands. Hopefully this gets that there. Yep, there you go. It's a little bit more open. This is usually more seen for figures with the cape. This Superman does not have a cape, but I guess you can always order a wired one through AliExpress or what have you. Next up, you have his flight hands. Pretty important for a Superman figure or swimming hands, but more than most likely flight hands. You also do get some nice, calm, open, relaxed hands. Pretty nice right there. And to end off the hands, you do have open hands right there. More dynamic. Like he's just about to grab somebody, you know. Head sculpts, he does come with the one you see in the packaging with his more stoic, more neutral face. But then if you want an angry Superman, you got this bad boy right here. This is how I had him displayed up in my shelf. Pretty nice head sculpt again, good detailing. Only issue I have is the paint work. If you notice right here, I don't know if that's gonna fully pick up. Yeah, if you see right there, it kind of missed the mark a little bit over here. So I don't know if that's really intentional. I don't think it's showing up that well. No. So it's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit of paint missing there, a little bit of paint missing in some areas over here. So it kind of does make it look like his hair's receding, but it is what it is at that point. But overall, nice head sculpt. And then he also does come with, if you're familiar with Return of Superman, he isn't able to fly as of yet just because he did come back to life. That's why he is in this black suit. It's his power suit, basically gives him regeneration. But since he can't fly, there is an alternative. He does come with his rocket boots. And they give you some nice little pegs to put in there. So you don't really have to struggle when swapping out pieces. Lower calf areas. But yeah, these are nice, man. I usually have it displayed like this just because it gives it more contrast and more color. But to go alongside with these legs, and it just, if you want to see the articulation, same thing as that one. Nothing restricts it from over here. Only big difference is silver, and you have this molding over here. But to go with these, right? Yeah, I could say there. You do get these two rocket propulsor, if that's even the name for it. But yeah, these two pieces that basically just shows that he's flying off. And how that works is you have C's pegs over here. Kind of usual to see Mafex with pegs, but it's pretty cool. And then you have two pegs over here, two peg holes over here. Essentially, you just line it up. And then boom, shooting a fire out of his feet. Pretty cool. I usually have them displayed like this, with that on, I should say. And then finally, he does come with the traditional Mafex stand. Pretty useful stuff. I do usually recommend tightening these up just because sometimes they do come loose out of the packaging. But, you know, nice to always get a stand, especially when some other companies don't give us a stand to begin with. And before I forget, I was about to do this off camera, but I just realized might as well show you how it's done because this is a review after all. Sorry, first time, so making a little bit of rookie mistakes. But basically how this works is you grab his bottom part of the leg, just again, very gentle. And you just pull it apart like that. Pull it apart like that. Very easy to come off, but not easy to take off when you're, you know, moving around, playing with the toy itself. And then, like I mentioned before, you do get these pegs inside the leg just so you don't have to force it in over here. So you're just gonna pop, those out of there. Pretty self-explanatory. And then just same way you took it out, same way you're gonna put it in. Let me line it up with the peg right there. Boom. Now we get to the other one. I don't like losing these little things, so I just put it back here just so those don't go anywhere. And then I put it back in the box. Let's see. Same thing. Take that out. Put that back in there. And then just put that in. And then I'm not going to say you get a completely different figure, but it does give it a whole different feel. You know, it just looks, I prefer it this way just because it goes with the emblem. And again, it just gives it a nicer contrast compared to the fully blacked out look. Not saying I hate the fully blacked out look because it's beautiful, but this is just a little bit better. Yeah, this guy's awesome. Definitely recommend him. All right, so now let's go to the size comparisons. So for the size comparison, here I have Hush Superman. I just got this bad boy in, and he is pretty peak. Funny enough, I'm not the biggest Superman guy, but how can I not have Superman if I have Batman? Gotta have the besties, you know? But yeah, this guy's pretty beautiful looking too. He's overhyped, but overhyped for a reason. Yeah, this guy's cool. But anyways, we're not reviewing him. We're reviewing his counterpart right now, or him in the past. So let's see if I get him stand up. I don't want to move the cape too much. But yeah, these guys are basically in scale. This Superman is a little bit shorter, not by that much though. So having him pose up and everything is essentially you're gonna have the same height Superman. Yeah, if you can see there. So that's how he looks next to another Mafex. Here I have a Mythic Legions, a little bit more closer to the 7-inch line, but to me, I still consider them more 112 just because when you think about it, they're knights in suits of armor, so they're gonna be a little taller. So this is the Relic Templar. In case you want Superman to go in the past and fight some knights, I mean, listen, DC Comics, they make anything happen, so definitely not unlikely. What else? If you bear with me one moment. I do have a Marvel Legends right here. This is from the Gamerverse 2-pack, Punisher and Nick Fury. This is a great Punisher figure. So let's just get him more in a calm little pose, you know. And let me just fix him. So this is how he looks next to a Marvel Legends. And again, he does, ooh, sorry about that again, guys, but actually that helped out how this looks. So let me fix that. There we go. Yeah, I mean, doesn't look, let's move him out the way. Too bad next to your Marvel Legends over there. I know everything's just falling, huh? But yeah, it doesn't look too bad next to Marvel Legends. Frank is a little bit taller than him. That's the only, it's not an issue really, but Superman, I feel like he's a tall guy, right? He's a alien godly being. So the fact that Frank kind of towers him over a little bit, it's kind of funny. But again, it's a Marvel Legend, so they're not fully in scale with Mafex technically. They are 112, but not in scale, you know, if that makes sense. But yeah, pretty cool guy. Pretty cool guy. All right, guys. So my final verdict on this figure is he's amazing, right? I would rate him 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Very slept on Mafex figure, you know, for being a Superman. This guy's basically just a Hush Superman in black and silver with no cape and a mullet. He does have his issues, especially in the neck area and my QC issues. Everybody's not going to be like that. Mafex is very hit or miss when it comes to it, but I'm not going to let that hold back the figure, more just holding back the company itself. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think of the figure down in the comments below. Also, again, this is my first review, so let me know how I did. Any critiques or any tips and tricks, please let me know. I'd be all ears, and I'd be more than happy to listen. But yeah, guys, you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.